Today we're shooting with the new Fuji X-T50 and the new kit lens, the 16 to 50. We haven't shot with this lens before, or this camera, and I have said that the old kit lens is the best kit lens ever made, so we'll see how this stacks up. We're just doing a creative shoot today. It's not gonna be like a full review, but I will give you my thoughts on this. We're in a really cool location, and we're gonna shoot some trailer trash, 70s vibe, so let's do it. Let's try this side of the bus maybe, like in the sun side, because then I don't think we're gonna get the same type of,
Okay.
Let me just do some gardening real quick. You gotta do a little bit of landscaping here. All right, this is gonna look sick. I'm waist up right now, so your hands are in frame. We're getting a little bit of sun on you, which is really nice. Ooh, okay, hold that again, looking at it that way. I'm gonna punch in a little closer. Love that. I'm gonna come around this side. Let's bring your left hand back into your waist. Yep. It would be nice to have the tilt out screen or the flip out this way, and this camera doesn't have that. So it's like kind of a weird angle I have to hold my head on. Okay, love that. I'm gonna get back wider for that. Love that. Lighting's so nice right now. And I'll show you a couple here. Sick.
All right, so the X-T50 is rocking the X-Trans 5 HR 40 megapixel APS-C sensor. It's the same one found in the X-T5. The design is slightly more rounded on the edges, so it's less blocky looking like the X-T30. There's a big switch up top for full audio, so that kind of tells you who this camera's for. Beside that is the shutter speed dial. It does have a pop-up flash, which is pretty useful sometimes. It has a tilt touchscreen, but this screen is unchanged from the X-T30, and that also goes along with the EVF. It only has one UHS 2 SD card slot, a 3.5mm mic jack, USB-C, and micro HDMI, and it's still using that smaller, older battery found in the X-T30.
So one new addition they have not done on any Fuji cameras, they added a film simulation dial on the top left, and this allows you to actually save 3 of your own custom presets into it, or some of the more popular film simulations. I love the light there, it's sick. The dappled lighting. Yeah, you found the spot. Tilt the head again back off to the left a little bit, and then try and find that light to hit both of your eyes if you can. Amazing. Oh, you found the light. There it is. Do we have that cigarette prop? I don't condone smoking, but it always looks cool. Right, Joe?
Yeah.
Love it. Cool, I'm gonna show you these real quick. Oh, good. Eye detection's working perfect. I wonder if I should use a screen recorder for this. The more we can get the sun on you, the more like contrasty and like, I call it edgy looking. I kind of like back against here with your head kind of against that area. Yeah, something like that. Hold that exact angle again where you're bringing the hand up with the cigarette. Yeah, just right there. Can you bring this hand down and just kind of have shoulder up just a little bit? Because I'm literally just shoulders up right now. Oh, I love that. Yes, that is the money lighting shot right there.
Yeah.
Yas.
Yas, queen. Slay.
Let me get one shot of you putting the boots on. Put the cigarette in your mouth though, so it's just kind of like hanging out. Oh, yeah, that's amazing. Cool, all right.
When it comes to the video specs, it's pretty impressive. It has 6.2K up to 30 frames per second, 4K HQ oversampled, 4K 60p, and that's all 10-bit 422. It has F-Log1, F-Log2. It can do 12-bit ProRes RAW or B-RAW through the micro HDMI. It does have that new frame record indicator when you're recording with touch subject tracking. Now, all that said, it's not compatible with the fan unit, so there might be a little bit of overheating. I didn't have time to test this, and this is going to be especially for when you're shooting 6K video. I'd probably recommend the XS20 over this camera if you really want it mostly for video. When it comes to autofocus and eye detection, it's basically identical to the X-T5. It's very snappy, it's pretty reliable in photo and video, but this is always going to depend on which lens you're using. Obviously, we're using the new 16 to 50 kit lens, and it's doing a really solid job with its linear motor. Now, I never had much issues with the original kit lens, but this looks to be equally as good and just as snappy. It also has all the new AI subject detection mode, so animal, bird, plane, automobile, train, you name it. I also wanted to show some point-to-point here with this new lens to see how snappy it is, and as you can see, it's quick.
Today's video is sponsored by Artlist. Now, I've been using Artlist royalty-free music in my videos for a while now. And
Lee, you should tell them about the new voiceover feature.
Who said that?
Over here. You know the text box you just typed this sentence into to make me say this?
Right, so Artlist just released this brand new feature for video creators. You're now gonna have exclusive access to what I would consider some of the best high quality AI voices I've ever heard. And there are so many other awesome styles and voices to choose from. All you have to do is type in the text box what you want to say, select the voice style that best suits the type of video you're making, and hit generate.
You should tell them about how you can adjust the voice to give it more variation like a real human voice.
Or maybe you should tell them.
You just want me to do it because you're lazy. You can adjust the sliders to change the expression of the voice to meet whatever vibe you are looking for. You can adjust the emotional range, similarity to original, or style boost. Every time you make an adjustment, you will have to regenerate it to hear what it sounds like.
Yeah, I think this is going to be game-changing for people that need to have quality narration in their videos without needing to hire a pro voice actor. And this new feature is a part of all the Max plans, so no extra charge. But you can also just get the AI voiceover plan on its own. So make sure to check the link in the description to find out more. Thanks again to Artlist for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. You're just using every inch of that bench. Oh, this is cool. We're getting a bit of a sun flare here. Love that. Cool. Let me see if I can get more sun flare, like come out off the bus a little bit. This looks amazing. The backlight.
Love, love, love.
Do you want to get a cigarette back in that? Destroy your lungs.
Okay.
Sponsored by Lee. This is so dope. Love that. Maybe stagger that right leg out a little bit further. Like this one out a little bit more. Looking down at camera. Look at this backlight we got right now. You can't get any better light right now. Oh man, I gotta show you these.
Now obviously we've been shooting with the new kit lens and it's really solid. It has an all internal zoom design, 9-blade aperture, weather sealing, 58mm filter thread, 240 grams, so it's pretty light. And as I mentioned, it does have a linear motor, so the autofocus is nice and smooth and quiet, just like the original lens. Now you do lose out on the longer end, but you gain a bit wider on the widest end. It's going from 18mm to 16mm now. So it does have a variable aperture when zooming, and it goes from f2.8 to f4.8, which is how they're probably able to keep this thing so small. Now it kind of sucks that they left the optical stabilization out of this lens, but I assume they did it because all of their cameras pretty much have IBIS now. And I'm showing this in comparison to the old kit lens, so you can see it's smaller. And as we zoom this lens out, it retains the same size because it's internal zooming versus the external zooming on the old lens.
So obviously we've been getting some awesome images off this camera. This is the same sensor found in the X-T50, so it's that 40 megapixel sensor. I've covered the sensor on a few other cameras, so the X-H2, the X-T5, and the X106 actually all have this same 40 megapixel sensor. So we know it has great image, nice sharp detail. But I kind of want to cover some things on this camera that I do think are a little bit odd. So the first thing would be that there's no photo or video toggle on this camera. There's no dedicated switch. You have to go into the drive mode and go all the way down to the bottom to put it into video mode. And that's kind of weird for a hybrid camera, especially since Fuji has been putting that photo and video toggle on all of their other cameras. And so it's kind of got me wondering like who this camera is really for. Like, are they making it more for photographers or what? Because this thing can also do 6K video, so I don't know. And then the next thing is the new film simulation dial on the left here. When the first reviews were coming out on this thing, everyone was so excited about it, and I was like, that's cool, but how often are you actually changing your film simulations? Because typically I would only stay between 1 or 2 film simulations, and I actually change my ISO way more, and that's what this replaced. This used to be the ISO dial. So I get that Fuji's trying to lean into that whole film simulation thing. It's their thing that makes them more unique than other cameras, but I don't know if I care too much about the film simulation dial, and I'd probably rather have an ISO dial. And then the next thing would be that they're using the smaller battery. So this is the older battery that was in all of Fuji's other cameras. They do say that this processor is more efficient and this battery will continue to last like it would with a bigger battery, but it would have been nice if they put a bigger battery in this camera because there's a lot of power going on and this is a pretty small battery. They obviously would have to make the grip bigger and they want to keep the camera smaller, so I understand why they use a smaller battery, but it would have been nice to have the bigger battery. Yeah, we have to bring the cigarette back. This is so sick. Dang. All right, we're done. Good job.
Girl.
All right, so my final thoughts, end of the day, you're basically getting a mini X-T5. You're just not getting all the pro features. You're not getting dual card slots. You're not getting weather sealing. Your shutter is limited to 1/4000th of a second if you're using the mechanical shutter versus 1/8000th of a second. You're getting the same image quality though, so same sensor, same autofocus system, same AI subject detection, same 6K video. I'm just not sure whether this camera can handle the heat the same way. If you're shooting a 6K video, it might overheat a little bit faster, but outside of that, you're getting like basically the same camera. It's way smaller. And this camera comes in at around $13.99 US, and I think it's $18.80, which is quite a bit in Canadian dollars for this camera, especially when the X-T5 is only like $300 more. So it's kind of a head scratcher whether you'd want to spend the extra $300 to get the X-T5 versus this. But again, if you want a smaller compact version of the X-T5, this is your camera. That's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody involved. Thanks to Sarah. That's the first time shooting with her. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, give it a thumbs down twice. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. See you guys in the next one.